The Arcane Bomber, Melee Mage, lightning stagger, fire stacks, and meteors from the sky exploding everything. The basic idea is simple. Stack up arcane bombs and get them to explode. But how we do it is the interesting part, because all of our skills interact with arcane bombs. Just as an example, strike abilities now hit with an arcane bomb, and our cooldown ability is a strike ability. If I electricity storm surge, boom, everyone has arcane bomb. And these arcane bombs you trigger using a heavy attack, melee, or throwing your dagger, boom. Insane explosion damage. And to make things even more crazy, maximum arcane bomb stacks +1 if we dash in with our Void Blade, which is a strike ability, and then straight up drop the Storm Surge. We already have 2 arcane bombs on them, and then can go for super explosion. And since all your blast abilities cost 50 mana less, yes, this is a strike blast ability. You can Void Blade in, instantly drop the Storm Surge, and then follow up with a Meteor. 50-50, and you do actually have 150 mana. This will apply burning stacks and overwhelm the opponent, which means they take bonus stagger damage. Then you can fill up the bar and just take them down easy as ever. And the coolest part about electricity and lightning, abilities that deal fire or electric damage increase the other type's damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Hold on, that's crazy. That's illegal. And heads up, this works from very early on. Been essentially going from level 1 right towards this build, and you don't need any special uniques to make this work. Obviously though, you would like to have a fire orb and an electric stave, or the other way around. I'm currently trying to get Earthemiel's Ash upgraded that I get another burning stack plus. More burning stacks, more damage over time. And for fire, I have the Scorch Staff for the fire resistance fire damage, or rather Flame Branch, which gives you more mana regeneration, and hitting burning enemies gives me even more mana. That I can really do my cool combos there back and forth. Now, before we go into the skills and the path I recommend you to take, companions, we're taking Lucanis because his debilitate applies Thundered and we can detonate that, or we choose his Eviscerate, which detonates our Overwhelm. Our Void Blade and Meteor interact with Sundered, and our Storm Surge is the Overwhelm. And second companion is always Harding, and the reason is simple. She does also apply Thundered, but what I like the most is that during combat, Shrat may trigger automatically, and every 60 seconds she can randomly just apply this, so I have another free explosion happening. And then on crit, we can reduce the ability's cooldown. And second, I'd like to upgrade her potion, especially in very over-leveled boss fights. When you're like level 26 and you're fighting a level 50 dragon, for example, which you shouldn't do, technically. She's immensely helpful. First skill points need to go to the right, away from fire. We're going to be taking the Fate Strike double dash hit into mana regeneration restarts faster when paused by spending mana or taking damage. Incredibly useful. Then Chain Lightning for early staggers works really well in the beginning of the game. We need that 50 maximum mana together with bonus damage based on the damage type of your staff and orb. I have a fire orb, my meteor does more damage. I have an electricity orb, my electricity abilities do more damage. And lastly, the most important one, meditation. Mana regeneration plus 15%. This is what we need to knock out. Then instead of going straight up down here to your cooldown ability, I would head over to the left. Jump attacks guaranteed critical hits on knockdown targets. Fantastic, as we actually do knock easily down with a meteor. Most importantly though, we take the Wall of Fire. That's going to be our first cooldown ability until we get to the strike down below. Then we get stagger from weapons increased into return fire. Light attack or heavy attack after perfect defense performs a counter attack. Don't really use that much. We get the arcane bomb damage to do plus 15%. And technically you could go for a Veil Blast to make your mana apply to your blast abilities, but I'd rather have more mana to chain my blast abilities, as I have 2 of them to really put into each other and overwhelm your opponent. Then successful light attacks generate an additional 25% mana. Perfection. This value is doubled against enemies suffering from an affliction. They might be overwhelmed. They might be burning. We'll constantly restore more mana than ever, as we always light attack to apply more arcane bombs. Bonus fire damage, then the meteor that detonates Thundered, plus a bonus arcane bomb stack. With defeating a burning enemy against Rally Partey, companions deal increased damage. And then lastly, another burning stack. Super good. Haven't put a point into Bombastic yet, but blast abilities now deal 25% more detonation damage, and with the companion setup, it's super easy to get that going. And since we do a lot of stagger, you would like to do one more point into Essence Eater. Performing a takedown grants 250 health and 20 ultimate. It's amazing. You get your ultimate up faster than ever. But we won't go over this. We'd rather go over the right side with a bonus to charge attack damage. Then abilities that deal fire or electric damage increases each other's damage. So that is really important. With the physical resistance bonus into perfect defense grants shocking weapons. That's then bonus electric damage if you do the perfect defense. Bonus dagger from charge attacks. We are not looking for this. We're looking for blast ability will steal 50% more damage versus barrier armor. That's both of our abilities, Meteor and the Strike from our Spellblade class. And Strike abilities do more stagger, which means that our Strike Blast ability does more stagger and more damage versus barrier armor. Perfection. Into our Storm Surge to apply Overwhelm. Storm Surge is then going to be replacing the Wall of Fire to do more damage versus armor. Then we come the Spirit Blade. And that's where things get interesting. You do 1, 2, 3, shift, hold it, throw. Boom. You can also do it after 2. It doesn't have to be 3 attacks. And the throw will consume the Arcane Bomb. Dash in, Strike Blast, apply the bomb. Go for the Storm Surge to apply another bomb. Left attack, Spirit Blade throw. Or just straight up shift, left click to get the heavy attack in. Our ultimate is Thunderous End. It's more or less screen wide, just damaging everything. Pretty amazing. Going for an initial blast with a follow-up blast. Then we get Void Blade that you have seen during the gameplay. You jump in, you boom, explode the enemies. Make sure to have something targeted. You detonate the thunder straight away, and it's Strike Blast, which makes it cost 50 less mana. And our strike abilities now apply Arcane Bomb, which means, again, Arcane Bomb application, and only 50 mana. And also our Meteor only costs 50 mana while we have 150 mana. With further points, we're going to be picking up maximum Arcane Bomb stacks +1 again, and also maximum Shocked and Burning stacks. Plus, you can now flurry your actual blade around you. Your orb goes in a circle, which will apply Arcane Bomb, but it won't detonate it. Now, points I'm very much interested in reaching. We could go up here with Affliction duration, deal 5% bonus damage for each unique primary affliction, then ranged attacks deal bonus damage, and while wearing a different classification of Vitar and armor, which means light Vitar, medium armor, for example, or medium Vitar, light armor, ranged attack mana cost decrease, and even more weak spot damage. Plus, my beautiful one, executing a detonation on an enemy grants shocking weapons. Shocking weapons would be bonus electricity damage on weapon attacks, and the duration of shocking weapons is extended by 50%. This is pretty much where I'm looking to go next. And lastly, if you want to, you're going to move yourself up from Desolate Malady to the Further Torment from the Meteor, into bonus necrosis stacks. We don't need this. What we want is the Channel Thoughts. Focus your mind to generate up to 50 mana per second on command. If you then are fighting a very heavily overleveled opponent or something like this, and you just want to get your combination back up, that you can essentially go in with a Void Blade, you will probably not need it very much, as we have so much mana regeneration with all the shebang we're doing beforehand, that you might be better off going down here, take 15% less damage from shocked enemies, then having your strike abilities apply shocked to nearby enemies. Electric damage over time deals an equal amount of stagger. Very good. Then we can have lightning bounce off if we attack shocked enemies and increase the shock amount stacks, and then also upgrade our strike abilities to deal more damage to an enemy for each stack of shocked. And if we then apply a lot of shocked and we have, well, our strike ability Void Blade go in, whew, things are getting interesting. For my items, I mostly took something that gives me the most ability damage possible, with the Soldier's Bane and also with the Recruit's Simple Tunic. You can see that it's 77% and also another 55%. If I'm at 50 mana or lower, and I'll always be around 50 as I just spend that straight away. Not going to be hovering around 100 ever. My rings are mainly meant to give me more mana. 15% mana regeneration, mana on kill, and 50 maximum mana. That would be amazing, as I can then just spam out more of my abilities, do more combos, especially on the start of a fight, and end everything with a fell swoop. With the next unique ring, each time you use an ability that hits an enemy, gain plus 20% damage and minus 20% damage to your resistance. This bonus is reset if you defend or dodge. And, well, I just want to do ability to get the super bonus damage, then dodge, be good about it, and keep going essentially. And for the staves interested in even more mana regeneration that we can just spam away, but we're mostly using Orb and Blade and focusing here on the Arcane Bomb trigger damage. And we can even get heal when triggering an Arcane Bomb with the Time Worn Mage Knife. I need to definitely upgrade this thing. I think it was from the Necropolis. Ladies and gentlemen, Melee Spellblade your kind of style, or you're more focusing on the Evoker? Drop it in the comments below what you have actually been choosing and why you're enjoying it so much. If you'd like to see more tips and mistakes to avoid, especially when it comes down to upgrading the world, enjoy and have a fantastic good time. Take care.